Am I the asshole for leaving my friend stranded after she showed up late for the third time? Hey guys, I'm 23, and I drive a small Honda Accord, and I usually give my friend Tina, who's 22, rides to work since we live close by and start work around the same time. We both agreed that she helps with gas every 2 weeks, and I pick her up on my way. It worked fine for the first month without any problems. After the first month, she started running late very frequently. Every single time I'd text her, "I'm outside," and she'd take 10 or 15 minutes to come out, sometimes even longer. I've tried being patient, but I kept showing up late to work because of it. My boss even noticed once, which isn't a good sign. So I decided to talk to her about it. Last Friday, I warned her that I'd only wait 5 minutes because I couldn't afford another late mark to risk my job. When I pulled up, I texted her here. She said 1 second. After waiting 5 minutes, I called but she didn't answer. I waited another minute and called again and same thing. I then left. About 15 minutes later, she spammed my phone with tons of messages saying I abandoned her and made her walk in the heat, and that she missed the first part of her shift. I told her I was sorry, but I had already warned her multiple times. She said I should have waited because that's what friends do. She hasn't spoken to me since, and one of our mutual friends said I was kind of harsh and could have just waited 5 extra minutes to keep the peace. Now I'm wondering if I was too rigid about it. I know life happens, but I feel like she just didn't respect my time. Am I the asshole for leaving without her after she made me late so many times? She hasn't spoken to me since, and one of our mutual friends said I was kind of harsh and could have just waited 5 extra minutes to keep the peace. Tell mutual friend to drive the inconsiderate late person to work. Not the asshole. You communicated, gave her advance notice of not being able to wait for her for an undetermined amount of time, and you waited for her for a few minutes before leaving without her. You're doing her a favor by driving her. Yes, even with her helping you out with gas money, it's still a favor. Shit happens, people are late sometimes, but you can't sacrifice your job for her tardiness. Not the asshole. She's made you late to work multiple times. You warned her, then you even waited past the time you said you would, and gave her multiple texts and calls. She said I should have waited because that's what friends do. No. Friends actually respect each other's time by ensuring we aren't late and negatively impacting them. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your job, which is what will happen if you keep showing up late because of her, because she can't be bothered to set alarms for herself. She's not a child, and you're not her mommy. You were doing her a favor by driving her to work so she wouldn't have to walk, and she repaid you by making you appear to be an unreliable employee because she kept making you late. Not the asshole, and good for you. It's nice to help her out, but she's being rude and inconsiderate, and it's not being too rigid for setting a boundary to protect your own job and sticking to it. Not the asshole. Friends don't let their friends get into trouble at work. Obviously not the asshole. Frankly, the only thing that's unclear is why you need to ask. You explicitly told her in advance that you wouldn't wait, for the very justifiable reason that you were getting in trouble with your work because she kept making you late. What else is there to say? As an aside, there is no more stupid, uninformed, illogical group of people in the world than the unnamed mutual friends of people who post on AITA. Am I the asshole for not disclosing my medical history to a stranger? I, F27, am an amputee. Ever since my amputation, countless people have asked me what happened to me. At first I wasn't bothered by it, and sometimes would poke fun saying a shark bit it off, or some other random story. However, as time progressed it began to upset me more and more. I would get stopped in the middle of a parking lot, stopped in a busy aisle of the store, stopped on my way to and from appointments, etc. The part that bothered me the most is that they didn't even have the decency to introduce themselves, make small talk, or even ask me my name first. Children are actually infinitely more respectful than these grown-ass adults. One morning, I was outside a hotel I was in smoking. This lady came outside and immediately asked, "What did you do to lose your leg?" Mind you, it was like literally 6 a.m. I said verbatim, "You haven't said good morning, hello, or even asked me my name, and yet you feel entitled to my medical history. Would you like that to happen to you?" She started cussing me out and said that I was rude and a cunt, etc. AITA for saying this and feeling that was out of line? Too long did not read. People always ask me what happened to my amputated leg as the first thing they say, without even being cordial enough to introduce themselves or have small talk. Sometimes I tell them that it's rude to do so, and they cuss me out. Ta. Next time someone asks that, a good response is, "How did you lose your manners?" The world is full of rude and insensitive people, and you are absolutely not the asshole. Given that you seem open to joking about it, I would totally overplay it. Heck, have a contest with your friends to build a list of responses. Well, I was sentenced to the guillotine, but the executioner got the instructions upside down. That it was a dark night in the mountains outside Agrabah. /loudside / $, at hashtag, %/ curate, at ingrown toenails. Holy cow, where's my leg? Well, / deep breath / there I was rescuing a nun from an orca off the Great Barrier Reef. Ever seen Jurassic Park? Damned raptors. All of which can be followed with, "That's why you don't ask total strangers personal questions." Not the asshole. Next time just say that you lost it in a fight after asking a stranger a personal question about their body. "I was too nosy and my leg fell off." You'll want to be careful. "Hey Opie, how you doing? I'm /you/Loki 2002, nice to meet you. Hope work and life is treating you well. TGIF tomorrow, am I right? So, how'd you lose the leg?" Also not the asshole. Not the asshole. She got angry because she was called out and embarrassed. She's projecting about her rudeness. Am I the asshole for not using an expensive clothing fabric to make my boyfriend a curtain? For context, I have an Etsy shop where I sell various items. I have a specific fabric, cotton spandex with serial killers on it, that I use for underwear. This fabric cost me $52.90 with shipping to purchase. Now I don't do a ton of sales, and I'm okay with that as it's mostly a hobby and occasionally extra income. So I've had this fabric for a year or two and made a handful of items out of it. He went into my craft room, searched through my fabric and grabbed that one. Then asked me to make a curtain out of it for his office window. I explained to him that fabric is really expensive, and if he wanted me to make a curtain out of it, he had to pay me for the fabric. He got really offended. It threw me that he thought I should just sacrifice this expensive fabric that I make money from to make him a curtain. So am I the asshole for telling him no if he doesn't pay me for it? Why would you ever use what I presume is a stretch fabric for curtains? Not the asshole. That fabric is not suitable for curtains. If you use it for underwear, it's not good for curtains. You can find something on sale that will work better. He can make his own curtains by using fusible tape and an iron. Shit curtain fabric, it will not sit right at all, plus the elastic components will rapidly degrade in sunlight. Your boyfriend shouldn't look at your business stock as something that you should just give to him. If he wants you to make curtains for him, that's fine, but tell him you both will go to the fabric store and he can pick something out. But it's not appropriate for you to use something that you stock in order to sell through your business. If this is an actual business, you do have to account for inventory and sales and file taxes, so he should know better than to expect you to use business items for personal use. Not the asshole. Lifelong sewer here, 30+ years. 1. That fabric is not suitable. 2. Him rummaging through your fabric stash without permission is unacceptable. 3. If he wants that specific print so badly, he can order that print on a more suitable fabric. I am concerned he might ruin the fabric out of spite. He strikes me as the type to do that. Tell him that you'll make a curtain for him free of charge when he provides all the materials. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my sister I don't care when she gets married? I, 35F, just celebrated my anniversary, and my sister, 38F. Kayla is still mad about a fight we had right before my wedding. I would love to know who's TA. Kayla was married at 23 and divorced at 30. She got a new boyfriend pretty much immediately after the papers were finalized, and they've been together ever since. Kayla always said the divorce was so hard, she would never marry again, and her boyfriend seemed fine with that. When my husband and I started talking about marriage, we told our families. Everyone gave their blessing, including my sister. I don't like surprises, so my husband revealed he was going to propose at my birthday party, which was near Valentine's Day. I told my 4 future bridesmaids, including my sister, in case they wanted to witness the proposal. A week before my party, Kayla surprised the family by announcing her boyfriend had proposed Christmas Day. We thought it was a little odd for a couple reasons. 1, she was so vocally against a second marriage. 2, she bought her own ring. But people change their minds all the time, and it doesn't matter who bought the ring if they're happy. We congratulated her and let it be. The oddness continued after my husband proposed, and we started planning our wedding. My sister hated all our choices from our theme, autumn, to invitations, gold and cream. but especially my dress. I didn't wear pure white because I got married in my 30s, and it felt silly to do the blushing virgin shtick at my big age. According to Kayla, this was mortifying and shameful. Which was weird, considering she was pregnant with my nephew/showing when she walked down the aisle, and no one said a word. The real issue happened about a month before my wedding. Kayla called me out of nowhere and said, "Hey, would you care if I got married before you?" I said, "No, that's fine. You got engaged first, after all. Go for it." Then Kayla said, "But what if we got married really close to your wedding day? Would that bother you?" I had 1,000,000 people to call that day, including the caterers and the bakery, so I simply said, "Sis, I don't care when you get married. Go down to the courthouse an hour before the ceremony and get married on the exact same day if you like. Just be dressed and at the venue by 3 p.m., and I'll be the happiest bride ever." Kayla started screaming that it was significant other rude of me to say I don't care about her wedding. I said that's not what I meant, but she hung up on me and told the family her version. I still get shit from our aunts for something I didn't mean. Now, it's a year later, and my sister is threatening to not invite me to her wedding, which still hasn't happened. Am I the asshole? She's upset that her attempt at creating drama fizzled out into nothingness with that comment of yours. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like she's just trying to pick a fight with you. She kept asking follow-up questions that were increasingly offensive until it became clear to her that she couldn't offend you, at which point she herself took offense to your refusal to be offended. Not the asshole. She wanted to fight with you. She needed that drama badly. You didn't engage at first, so she resorted to misunderstand you. Oof. She bought her own shut-up ring and still isn't married. That's rough. That's also what she's mad about. Not you. Firstly, not the asshole. You seem way more reasonable than I think most people would be with their sister deliberately trying to sabotage their wedding. Or at the very least, steal some of the spotlight. Your sister clearly has some issues around marriage, but they aren't yours to deal with. She's a grown-ass woman that is acting like an ass because she is jealous. Doubt her second marriage is going to last long if it is built on upstaging you. Not the asshole your sister sounds like she's just mad that you're not upset. Like she's trying to create drama on purpose.